Very good morning to all the parents, all the teachers, and all the students who've joined us today for this webinar. Today's webinar is on the topic career options in humanities or arts stream. So most of you parents would have come here to gain more knowledge about these streams, considering your students have just passed 10th or considering they have just passed 12th. So you are worried about what to do next. So that could be one of the intentions that parents would have come in. Students also would have come in to learn more about this particular stream and to gain knowledge about what are the different options that's available in humanities or art streams. And we also have some teachers also who have joined in, and I believe that most of you have come with that one intention to learn more about this particular stream. So I welcome you all for today's session. And today we will be talking about career options in the stream of arts and humanities. So before I begin, I would just like to give you all an introduction about myself. I am Snehal. I work with ERA Foundation as a career counselor. So we are ERA Foundation and we are based out in Bangalore. We at ERA Foundation, we are a not-for-profit organization and we are dedicated to improving the quality of education, the higher education as well as secondary education sector in India. And we are creating a lot of social impact in the areas of education, counseling, and skilling. When I talk about counseling here, we are focusing mostly on career counseling. So we have our own multidimensional tool called Marg, wherein we help students of 9th and 10th standard to take the career guidance test, and this test will help them discover their strengths, and also they can discover various different career options or career streams that's ahead of them. And we are also into rating. So basically what we do in rating is we rate various universities, private institutions on various different indicators and factors like facilities that they're providing, the kind of the quality of education that they're providing, the faculty there, how's the infrastructure. On various different indicators, we also do rating for private universities and colleges. And we are also into assessments. So when I talk about assessments, we are mostly into entrance exams. So if you all have heard about the Comet K exam, we conduct the Comet K exam. And we also conduct various entrance exams for engineering institutions and various other private institutions, as well as different engineering colleges and institutions across India. So that's just a brief of what we do at ERA Foundation. So we are completely based out in Bangalore. So today, the whole point of having this webinar session is considering through across India, we have got the results for class 10 and class 12. Most of them know about the main streams like science and commerce, and they also know about what are the career options that's there in science and commerce. But when it comes to arts, we have a lot of misconceptions, myths about the stream itself, and we do not have a lot of knowledge about what this stream has to offer or what are the career options available in this stream. So this is the main intention of having this webinar today. So I hope it will help all the parents, all the students, and the teachers who have joined us today. So in this webinar, I will be covering about major subjects that's taught in humanities or arts stream after class 10. What are the subjects that's covered? And once they finish 11th and 12th or first PU or second PUC, what are the options they have for graduation, or what are the options for their future? What are the career opportunities they have if they do humanities or arts streams? And in India, what are the top 3 trending careers in the humanities or arts stream? So these are the major points that I will be covering today. So I hope you all will remain focused and take as much information as possible from this webinar. Okay, so to begin with arts and humanities, like we all know in India, we have the three main streams, that science, commerce, and arts. Arts is again a broad academic field which students study, and in the arts stream, they study about various types of human interactions, and they also study various different disciplines from music to performing arts to fine arts to history, philosophy, sociology. They study different disciplines. So whether you're someone who likes photography or you're someone who likes designing, painting, music, anything related to art stream, then career options, if you feel that career options are limited, then it's limited only by your imagination, because art stream has a lot of things to offer and a lot of career options. And because we have an hour, so I will be covering about what are the most common career options and also what are the trending career options. Apart from what I covered today, there are plenty more options that you all can look into and explore. And if you're someone who feel that science is not your cup of tea, and if you feel that you really can't do science, or if you're not interested and you feel, and if you feel that commerce is dull for you, and if you're not interested, then you should take up arts or humanities, because it's very interesting, and the subjects that they have to offer in the arts and humanities stream is very interactive also. So let us see as to why should we really choose arts and humanities. As a student or as a parent, when you're thinking about the career options and career streams, so what are some of the reasons and why should we choose arts or humanities? One is if you're genuinely interested in studying subjects like English, history, sociology, philosophy, psychology, economics, or anything of that sort, anything that is available in the arts or humanities stream. If these are the subjects that really interest you, or these are the subjects that really interest your children, and they have genuine interest in this, then they should take up the arts or science stream. Or there are some students who even have hobbies, so they have a full-time hobby, or they are passionate about something that they really want to pursue, and they also want to keep up with the school curriculum and their studies. So that is one more reason if you really want to choose arts and humanities, because when compared to science and when compared to the commerce streams, art stream is a little less tedious when it comes to studies and when it comes to the curriculum and all of that. So it is a little less tedious, and they can focus on their hobby as well as on their studies. So these are some of the reasons why you should choose arts and humanities. And we all know that in India there are a lot of myths about the art stream, that only low scorers end up taking arts, and there are not a lot of opportunities in the art streams, or if you end up taking art stream and if you get into a job, you might not be paid well. So these are some of the myths that we have. But today let's look at various professions that are popular, that really pay well, and people are doing very good in all of these professions. So let's take a look at these common professions also. So before we move on, I just want to give you all an idea about what are the subject combinations for career in humanities or art stream after class 10. So whether you get into a college or after your CBSE you get into 11th or 12th, anything for that matter, whichever whichever board that you're getting into, most of the boards in India offer these subjects as the main subject choices for humanities or art streams. These are very common across India and across all the states in India. So humanities and art streams has these five main subjects that they cover. One is English, then history, political science, sociology, and geography. These are the common subjects. Apart from this, there are various other subjects also. I will get into those details as well. So some other subject combinations that's available in arts and humanities are also like subjects like philosophy, psychology, economics, mathematics, home science, physical education, NCC, or Hindi, Sanskrit. All of these are also covered. But what happens is, from colleges to colleges and schools to schools, these subjects differ. So all of these subjects are decided, or the subject combinations are decided keeping into mind several different factors. So they look into which board you're from, which location you're from, and which are the subjects that's popular in your area or in the city that you are in or in the place that you live. And also availability of faculty also is a very important factor here. So if in a particular city, most of them for over a period of time, if they have chosen history, geography and sociology, most of the colleges will give you combinations that are in demand and that have been popular. If we have only one or two people who are choosing for philosophy or psychology or any other subject for that matter, colleges or schools may remove that combination because they will not have enough resources or even faculty members to teach you. So before even choosing any particular stream, look at the subjects that interest you and look at various different colleges and schools that offer the subjects that you want. So just before making any choice, look at all of this information, look at the number of colleges that you have in and around you, and what are the subject combinations that they are all offering. So based on that, you all can choose your streams. Okay. So moving on, let us try and understand what are the common career options in humanities and arts. I have tried to cover as much as possible, but I might have left out few of the career options because of, again, time constraints. There are plenty of options in humanities and arts, and we will not be able to cover everything, but I will try to give you a brief of most of the important ones. And if any point in time, and if at any point in time you have any queries, you can send in your queries or messages in chat, and at the end of the session I will respond to it. Okay, so the first one that I would like to talk to you about is law. We all know the career of law, and law is a highly sought after career in the stream of humanities or arts. And to give you all basic information, lawyers try to understand the legal structure of the country. They study about various laws and constitutions, various different. They also get into advising people on various legal matters. It could be on a personal front, or it could be on a professional front. So anything related to any of the legal matters, so lawyers try to take care of it. And each of the legal case that you deal with requires extensive research and study, and you must also be able to build strong arguments around your cases. So if you're someone who's looking at pursuing a career in law, your communication skills, your research skills also need to be really, really good. And as a lawyer, you will get to work with various government departments. You can also work in individual setups or small time law firms, or there are private companies that hire lawyers, and there are some NGOs also that look for lawyers, and most of these places look for lawyers to keep them out of various disputes. So if you are thinking of pursuing law after your 11th and 12th humanities, then after your 12th, you will have to do your bachelor's degree in law, that is a LLB program for 5 years. So if you have decided that you are someone who's really interested in the field of law and want to fight for various legal matters, and this is what really interests you, then you could take up the course of LLB, that's bachelor's degree in law, which is a 5-year program. Some of the students, what they do is they finish their graduation maybe in BA, BBA, BCom, and various other courses. They finish their graduation and then they realize that I want to become a lawyer, I want to pursue this particular career. So if at that point after your graduation, if you still want to do law, there is again an option. After your graduation, you can again choose a 3-year LLB program also, that also will give you all the basic information about the career in law. So uh, even when it comes to law, you can choose in the field of law itself, you can choose various variety of options like litigations. What kind of cases do you want to work for? What is your personal choices? You can choose all of that. Either you can fight in courts or you can fight for corporate counsels. Corporate counsels are nothing but, again, lawyers who are employed by various businesses, organizations, and corporate companies, and you get to work with various law firms. Laws, you can also work as a lecturer in law school, and you can also work for media companies and publishing companies also. And many law graduates, they choose their specialization. There are various specializations under the field of law itself, so they choose their specializations based upon their area of interest. So they either choose tax laws, which is related to all the tax and revenue matters, and intellectual property rights is about all the content or any particular content or any particular information that is developed by humans. So all the companies, all the websites have their own copyright issues. So there are lawyers who fight for intellectual property rights also. Then there are human rights lawyers who fight for basic human rights of human beings. And there are criminal lawyers who fight for various different criminal cases. So based on what you are interested in, you can choose your specialization in the field of law. So moving on, before I begin, I have a poll for all of you. So just look at your screens and you will have a question coming up and you can just respond to this. So this is a poll for all of you. Wouldn't it be interesting to know how the human mind functions and why people behave the way they do? Would you really be interested to know more about the human mind? So just say yes or no. This is a poll for all of you to keep the session interactive. Okay, I'll give you all a few seconds to respond to the poll. Would you all find it interesting to know about how the human mind functions or why people behave the way they do? Do you like to understand about human emotions? Okay. So thank you all for your responses. We have the poll results. 93% of the people who have joined us today would want to know about how the human mind functions and why people behave the way they do. So if we have a lot of students in this group, and if you are someone who's interested to know about how the human mind functions and why do people behave the way they do, then psychology is a very interesting subject for all of you, and psychology is also one of the options after your humanities or arts stream. So talking about psychology, psychology is the study of human mind and human behavior. We try to understand human emotions and why do people behave the way they do. So we try to understand, we study various experiences of human beings and we study their behavior, and in various different settings people behave in a different way. So we try to understand what are the reasons behind such behavior or behind such intense emotions. So after studying the field of psychology, even in psychology, just like in law, there are different psychologies. Again, a vast field. Under psychology, you have various different specializations. So you have clinical psychology as one of the specialization, wherein students of psychology who take up clinical psychology can or will get the opportunity to work in hospital sector or the healthcare sector. They will be dealing with a lot of psychological disorders of people and mental health disorders. And there is industrial and organizational psychology, wherein We try to study the human behavior in a workplace or in a work setting as to why a team behaves in a certain way, or how is the performance of the team affected, or how are their emotions and how is their behavior affecting. So even in a corporate setup also psychology is used. And there is forensic psychology. Forensic psychologists deal hand in hand with the crime department, so they try to understand the traits of the criminals, and they try to understand or interview these criminals as to what was the scenario, why did this happen. So with the crime department, they work mostly with the crime department and the criminal cases. And sports psychology tries to understand the performance of the athletes and various sports personality as to how fit are they, how is their mental state of mind before performance and after performance. And they also motivate these athletes and sports personalities before any match or tournament and after any match or tournament. So there are different specializations even under the vast field of psychology. These are just a few common ones that I have listed out. So if you're someone who's interested to study, or if you're someone who wants to get into the field of psychology after your 11th and 12th humanities or arts, you can take up BA or BSc in psychology. And after your graduation, you can take up MA or MSc in psychology. So some of you might have a question that I have done arts, humanities, so why is she telling me that I can do MSc? But when it comes to the field of psychology, there is no restriction. What happens here is if you take up BA, psychology will be one of the combination with either your English literature, journalism, history, economics, any of these subjects. But if you try to take up BSc, what happens is they will, so it again depends from colleges. So if you take a BSc, it'll either be with your botany, zoology, psychology, or it'll be botany, biotechnology, and psychology. So the subject combinations, like I said, differs from place to place and colleges to colleges. So based on the subject combinations, you can choose your course, whether you want to do a BA in psychology or a BSc in psychology. So that's the way to get into this particular path. And once you finish your education in the field of psychology, you get to work as counselors, clinical psychologists, child psychologists. Child psychologists mainly deal with the population, children population or the adolescents. And human resource specialists or HRs who work in organizations and corporate setups. Some of them work as career counselors for various career counseling companies. Some of them work for substance abuse or work as substance abuse or drug abuse counselors. So they try to counsel the people who intake a lot of drugs and various other substances. Some of them work as family therapists to understand the dynamics of the family and to solve any issues that goes on in a particular family. And you all know about forensic psychologists also. So you get to work in a various different sectors, from healthcare to hospital setups to teaching to corporate companies. You have plenty of options even in the field of psychology. So this is just a gist about the career in psychology. Okay. So moving on, I have history. So before we go further, I have one more poll for you all. So just look at your screens and you will have a different poll coming in now. Yes. You all can look at your screens and you can respond to this question as well. So do you ever find yourself asking questions about how life was like 100 years back, or how did people live at that point in time, 100 years back or 200 years back? How did they interact or how did they survive in this surroundings? So do you ask yourself any of these questions? Or are you someone who's curious to understand about how things were 100 years back or 200 years back? So are you someone who's interested? So just look at your screen and you can give in your responses. I will just end the poll in a few seconds. Okay, yeah. So if you all can see the results, we have 71% of people saying yes and 28% people saying no. So we have some people who are really interested to know how life really was 100 years back. How did people live? How did they interact? How did they survive? So, if this is what really interests you, then history is a career option as well. So, what history helps you find all of these answers as to how did people live, how did they interact, where did they study, what did they do. All of these questions are answered by history. So, if you like studying any of these, or if you like studying about the past events and how events occurred in the past, and if you want to look at various texts and artifacts are again nothing but some of the objects that are created by human beings and are things of past. So, in a cultural context or a historical context, artifacts are preserved. They were like they were popularly used during 100 years back or 200 years back or even previous than that. So if you're someone who likes to read texts of history or various old documents, letters, or research about these artifacts, learn more about various different materials that belong to different time periods, then history is again an option for you. And once all of these historians study about all this, they create a detailed analysis and they research about all of this, and they come into interpretations as to how people lived a few many years back, a few 100 years back. And they also give us information. So all of the history textbook, all of the students that you have studied about various different wars, various different civilizations, we get all of these information only because historians have researched about it and they have analyzed how people lived. So if you are also someone who's interested to get into this particular field, then you could take up BA in history after your class 12th, and after your graduation you can do MA in history. These are the options if you want to get into studying history. And you might question, after history, what are the opportunities? I don't know, I'm not aware of. But after graduating in history, you can explore various career options like archivists. Archivists are people who preserve these original materials, or they collect or assess, or they organize all of these records, all of these artifacts, and they also preserve all of these manuscripts and documents. So archivists do that, take up that role. Lecturers teach a history subject in various colleges, schools. And analysts are whatever documents that you get from the past, or whatever materials that you have got, they gather all of these and they document these. They keep track of it, they organize it in such a way, and they analyze all the information as to how did events really occur, and they draw conclusions from it. So they also play a role of a researcher. And even in the field of research, historians are required. They study about various different civilizations, dynasties. They study about how politics was back then and what are the different cultural changes. And they study about mythology, different countries and their mythology also. And historians also work with publishing companies. So if you look at various different newspaper companies or magazine groups, historians work with them to write articles or to publish articles related to the field of history. So again, there are a lot of options if you want to pursue your career in the field of history as well. So that's about history. And there is also a field called archaeology. So if you are again interested to study about past events, and if you're interested to study about various different materials that existed in the past, then archaeology is again a field. So what archaeologists do is and archaeology, what archaeology really does is it is the study of all of these artifacts, whatever you find in your history. Historians usually just document it, research it, but the people who find it are archaeologists. They dig deep into the ground and they try to find various different materials or various different things that of past. So whatever they dig the ground and they find all of these remains of previous years, and they try to arrange it in a sequence, and they try to understand what was the event that had taken place and what really happened during those years. So archaeologists try to understand more about the past as well. So if you're again interested to pursue your career in the field of archaeology, then you could take up BA. So archaeology in India, very few colleges give you a BA in archaeology. It's again combined with various different subjects. So mostly, if you look at it, history and archaeology share some of the common share some things in common. So that is why they try to include Indian history and archaeology. So there is a course called as BA in Indian history, culture, and archaeology. There is also a course called as archaeology and museology. So these are some of the courses that you can take up after 12th. And after your graduation, you can pursue MA in archaeology or MA in ancient Indian history and archaeology. And there is also MSc in archaeology. These are some of the courses in the field of archaeology. And now you might ask, what do I do after I complete my archaeology? Where do I work? What is the kind of work that I will get into? So after a degree in archaeology, some people work as numismatists. So what numismatists do is they collect old currency. So these are the people who keep track. If you look at, if you go to various museums, you see all the old currencies and what are the kind of different coins and notes they use. So numismatists do this kind of role. They collect all the old currencies from different regions. And there are people who also study various inscriptions and manuscripts, the kind of documents that was preserved 200 years back or 500 years back. Not all of us can really read it. Only specialists who have the knowledge about this particular field can do it. So epigraphists is again one more role where they study inscriptions and manuscripts. If you go to old monuments, it could be any mosque, any temple, any church, you could, if it's very old, like 500 years old, or even or 100 200 years old, you can look at these walls. They have some things written on it. Not all of us can read it, but people like epigraphists can really read it, because that's what they have been doing for quite some time. And again, you can become an archivist. Archivists preserve information in a proper documented format, and they have evidence for all the events that has happened in the past. And museologists study about museums. So they also contribute to preserving various different museums and heritage centers, anything of history, any old monuments, any heritage sites. They study these museum heritage sites, and they also preserve these heritage sites in museums. After your study in history and archaeology, you can also work in different museums and art and conservation restoration centers, and also you can work in various heritage sites. There are again plenty of options. So these people always will try to preserve the artworks, sculptures, and manuscripts. Most of these people try to get into these different areas, and even in the field of research also, archaeologists have a lot of scope. So that's again one area that you can explore after your humanities or art stream. Okay. Okay. Moving on, I have one more poll coming up for all of you. So you can just look at your screen, and I have a new poll for all of you. Okay. Does the very idea of studying about your country, both at national and international level, excite you? So this is the question for all of you. It could be students, teachers, or anyone. So this is just a general question to keep the webinar interactive. Okay, I will give you all a few seconds to answer the question. Okay. Okay, let me just end the poll. We have 67% of people who are willing to study about their own country. It could be, some of them could have joined from different countries. So who like to studying about their own country. It could be India or any other country at a national level as well as international level. So if you like to know more about your country at a national level or an international level, and if you want to learn more about how your country functions, what are the policies and how are politics in your country, all of that, then in political science and international relations is also one of the option for those who choose humanities and art streams. So political science involves studying the political history of a particular country and also a political systems as to how politics is in our current scenario, how was it in the past. So you will study a lot about politics and what are the different policies, different laws that's come into action, what are the different advances that have been taken place in the field of politics. On the other hand, international relationship is nothing but it involves studying the relations of your home country. So if you are from India, it involves studying about how India is with other countries. How is the relationship of India with various different countries? It could be UK, it could be Sri Lanka, it could be Nepal. So you'll try to understand how is the relationship of India with different countries. And people who study political science and international subjects will study about various issues like world peace, economic crisis, about employment rates, unemployment rates, how's the economy growing in your country when compared to different countries, how is are there any how is the poverty rate of your country, are there anybody suffering from malnutrition or various other diseases. So you try to understand more about your own country, and you will also understand the relationship of your country with various other countries of the world. So, if you're someone who's interested in understanding more about the politics of our country and about various other countries, and to have good relationship with various other countries, then you could pursue BA in political science, and BA in international relations is also one of them. Sometimes they also include BA and history and international relations. So these subject combinations differ from college to colleges again. So after your political science and international relations, after your graduation, you can again do masters in political science, or you can do masters in political science and international relations. So both of these options are available. So what after this? Where do you get to work? What can you do? You can choose to work in various places. You can work as research assistants, or so they research about all the how politics was previously, how is it now, how are the policies affecting the current scenario. They research about various different topics related to the country and relating to the education system. It could be about voting, anything related to the country. They try to research about all of this. Political analysts also, what they do is they analyze all the policies, new policies that have been that have framed, or the old policies, how relevant are the old policies in the current setup, do we have to revise, do we have to change. So they try to analyze various different policies of a country. You could also be a political consultant, so to various different political parties, or to various different government departments, you can also work as a political consultant. And if you do your degree in international relations, it opens up your opportunities to work in various different countries also. So you can be a diplomat. Diplomat is someone who will represent and protect our country in various other different countries. They will talk about politics, trade, education. So you get to visit different countries, but you will be representing your home country. So if you're from India and if you are interested to work in the area of international relations, so you will be representing India if you work as a diplomat, you will be representing India. And you also get to work with various different world organizations like World Bank, UNO, and we all know how WHO involves all the different countries, and even UN, United Nations, includes all the countries. So we get opportunities to work in all of these world organizations also. If you get into the field of political science and international relations, this is also a very vast and a growing field, and there are plenty of opportunities. You can do some more research about this field as well if you are interested. Okay. So moving on, one more career option that I want to talk to you all about is again hotel management. But before that, I have a poll for all of you again. So just look at your screens and respond to the poll. So we all know hotels like Taj, JW, Marriott, Sheraton, Oberoi, Leela, all of these hotels, correct? And it's very nice to stay in all of these places. But do you know the kind of work that goes into making them the best in class? Or how are they even 5-star or 7-star properties? Do you know about it? Yes or no? So you can respond to the poll. I will give you all a few seconds for this. Okay. Few more seconds for all of you to respond to the poll. We all would love to stay there. These are all very, very luxurious properties, and we all would like to stay in sometime in a 5-star or 7-star property. But do we all know about what it takes to make them the best in class? Okay, I'm just ending the poll. Okay, the results are in front of you. So 42% of the people say yes, they know about what goes into it, and 57 people say no. So for all those who say no, this information is for all of you. So there is something called as hotel management, again, a career opportunity if you take up arts or humanities stream. So a career in hotel management requires you to understand and manage the work of hotels. So it does not only include catering or serving people, it includes a lot of things from front desks. So from inviting your guests to food to catering to housekeeping, there are a lot of things that happens in a hotel, and all of these things that happen in a hotel or a hospitality setup, from your food to beverages to catering to housekeeping to cleaning and to the kind of operations that happen there, all of these subjects are covered in the hotel management course. And apart from all of these, there are some different departments also, wherein there are there is sales department, marketing department, then there is finance department. All of these departments are also there in a hospitality setup or in a hotel setup. So if you like to work in a if you like to work with a hotel, or if you like to work with a hotel setup or a big time restaurant, and you want to be part of their food or beverage department, or you are someone who's interested in catering, or you're someone who's interested in the marketing or sales, or if you're someone who's interested in the housekeeping department, or anything related to hotel management and how a hotel is managed and how it's set up, then hotel management is again a very interesting. And also these days it's becoming popular. It was not very popular back then, but it's from a few years it's very, very popular. So if you want to really pursue a course in hotel management, then after your 12th, you could do your BSc or BA in hotel management. There is also a BBA in hotel management, BHM, that is Bachelor of Hotel Management. Then there is also diploma. These are all the graduation courses that's there after class 10. Just the way these courses are named are different, but curriculum will be more or less similar. The naming just differs. And after your graduation, if you still want to study, after your graduation, you can either work in various hotels, you can do internships and get a job. And if you still want to study to get into managerial roles in the hospitality or the hotel setup, then you could think of doing MBA in hotel management, or MSc or MA in hotel management, or you could even do a 1-year diploma course, that is a postgraduate diploma in hotel management. So if you do a course in hotel management, you get to work in various different setups. That's a hotel setup, a restaurant. You get to work in cruise ships, resorts, railways. Some of them even work in airlines, some of them even work with clubs and pubs. So there are plenty of opportunities again in the hotel management sector. And most of the people who just graduate, who just finish their graduation in BHM, BSc or BA in hotel management, they will be appointed as trainees in different departments of their interest, so, or their specialization. So there is front office department, there is food and beverage section, there is meeting and events, who organize meeting and events for various different people, weddings, corporate events. Then there is also restaurant operations. So there are different departments in a hotel setup also. So based on your specialization, you can choose where do you want to work. And as you grow in this field, the growth is also really good, and you will be promoted to various different managerial roles. So this is about hotel management. Okay. So, moving on, I will be talking about mass communication and journalism. This is also a very interesting and very trending career in the humanities and arts stream. But before that, I have the last poll for all of you. Okay. You can look at your screens and you can all respond. So the poll says, do you have a strong desire to be up to date with events taking place around you and want to inform others about it as well? So are you someone who likes to be up to date with all the news events, current affairs that's happening, and you also want to inform everybody around you about it? So are you someone who gets excited about the news events and various other events? I'll just give you all few seconds to respond to the poll. Okay, I'll just be ending the poll. So 67% of them say that they are really interested to be up to date with the events that take place around them, in their country, in their state, and they also like to inform others. The 32% of people are not interested. So if you're someone who likes to keep yourself updated with various related news events, not only with regard to politics or government, various other news events related to film, sports, any health, in medical setup, any different news or any events, then mass communication and journalism is also one of the option in after your humanities or arts stream. So mass communication involves conveying information to large number of people. So we all watch news, TV, and these days we all are on different social media platforms where we watch news live on various channels. It's correct. So if you're someone who likes conveying relevant information to large number of people, you will get to work in various setups like television, radios, newspapers, magazines, and now social media. And journalism is again a subset of mass communication. Journalism involves gathering all of these news, assessing them, creating and presenting all of these news events and facts and all of this information to the public. So mass communication and journalism is all about conveying relevant information to large audience. So in mass communication and journalism also, you have plenty of opportunities. It's not just a news anchor or news reporting. You can also get into content writing and content editing. If you're someone who's really good at writing, not only in English, in any other languages, you can write for newspapers, magazines, and even for various different social media platforms. And you can also get into advertising. If you're someone who's very creative and can come up with different ideas about how to promote a different product, then you can also get into the field of advertising. Broadcasting is again whatever news material or whatever information is collected, how does it reach the people? So that process is broadcasting. So you can also get into that. And even through your mass communication and journalism, I think I just missed out on courses. I will just give you information about that. If you're interested in mass communication and journalism, then you, after your 12th, you can pursue your bachelor's in journalism or mass communication, or you can even do BA. And with BA, you'll have various other combinations. You can either choose your English literature, mass communication, and you'll have different subjects. So you can choose any subjects that you like. After your graduation, you can take up masters in mass communication or journalism, or you can even do a 1-year diploma program in mass communication or journalism. There are also some certificate programs related to mass communication and journalism. So there are different platforms: TV, radio, news, newspapers. So depending on the area that you want to work to, you can choose your specialization and get certified. If you want to pursue a career in writing, then you can do a certificate course in writing. Or if you want to, from journalism, it opens your avenue to even photography. Even in the field of mass communication and journalism, photography, video editing, video recording, all those are again important factors. So in the mass communication and journalism course, you will be learning basics of mass communication and journalism, which will involve editing, recording, all of these aspects also. But later on, if you want to specialize in any particular field, you can do a certificate program relevant to relevant to what interests you. So you get to work in various different setups. You can work for TV channels, you can work for lifestyle channels, you can work for magazines, you can work for newspapers, you can work for various companies as video editors, video recorders, photographers, content writers. So there is again plenty of opportunity in the field of mass communication and journalism as well. So moving on quickly, one more field that I would like to talk about is design. After humanities and arts, after choosing humanities and arts stream, it opens your avenue to design, because most of them who are interested in arts would like to take up humanities and arts. Designing is again one such career which opens different opportunities. It is not just about interior designing or graphic designing. There are different types of designing. It is a very broad field. You can also think about jewelry designing, your textile designing, cloth designing, fashion designing. There are different types of designing as well. So if you want to get into a designing course after your 12th, then you can get into as per your specialization or as per what interests you. So you can do your interior designing course or bachelor's of design in leather designing, textile designing, industrial designing. There is also graphic designing and animation. There are different courses that's available in designing as well. So if you're someone who knows how to communicate your ideas or how to create images, draw, sketch, paint, layout. So these days a lot of digitization has happened, and a lot of scope is there for graphic designers and people who are good at animation. So you can think of a field in designing as well. So most of them will get to work with, if in case you choose fashion designing, you will get to work with textile production houses, boutiques, and garment houses. You will get to work in marketing and media departments of various fashion brands also. Then if so, depending on the area that you're choosing, your work sectors also will differ. So if you choose to become a graphic designer, again you can work for different companies to design for their products, or you can work with different social media channels also to design content for them. So it again differs from the specialization that you're willing to choose. And in designing, there are plenty of options. Most of them who take up humanities or arts also are willing to do civil services. So, civil services is nothing but it gives you the opportunity to serve your country. So, in India, we have different civil services. So, you will be handling various departments, and you will be participating in the governance and policy making decisions. So most of them who want to get into civil services also choose arts and humanities, because for any of the civil service examinations, the basic questions comes a lot of these questions comes from arts and humanities stream itself. The questions are related to Indian constitution, political science, economics, and all of that. So people who have a strong base in humanities and arts stream also look at doing civil services. So to do your civil services after 12th, you have to finish your bachelor's in any particular subject. You can do your BA, BCom, BBA, anything. graduation is compulsory to get into any of the civil services, and only after your graduation you can apply for UPSC exam. So for more details to know about UPSC exam, I've also put up the link. You can visit the UPSC online.nic.in website for more information regarding the UPSC exam. But in my next slide, I have tried to give you all some information about the UPSC exam pattern. So UPSC exam pattern is you can attend for UPSC exam only after your bachelor's. So it happens in 3 stages, and in the first stage is a preliminary exam, and second stage is main exam, and the third stage is your interview or your personality test. And once you clear your UPSC exam based on your preferences and based on your rank, you will get into various departments. Some of the departments are Indian Administrative Services or IAS. IPS is the police services. Then we have IFS, that's the foreign services. Then we have revenue services. Then there is railway, postal. There are different departments in the civil services as well. This is just a brief for you, all of you, because we are running short of time. This is just a brief for all of you. And another opportunity for people in humanities and arts stream is social work. So if you are someone who likes to devote your time or who likes to work for the betterment of society, and if you want to help people, and if you want to fight for their rights, if you want to help people who are dealing with different problems, various abuses, and who are not getting basic facilities, then you can also get into the field of social work. So to get into social work, you have to do your BSW course, that's bachelor's in social work, after 12th, and after your graduation you can do your masters in social W, that's MSW, or even MA in social work, that is MA in social work again. So social workers, they work with different individuals and different families. They deal with different issues like poverty, malnutrition, unemployment, education. They deal with various different issues of societies, and they work with NGOs, they work with education sectors, they work with governments, they work in rehabilitation sectors. They have a lot of opportunities when it comes to work as well. Some of them even work in the corporate sector in the field of CSR, that is corporate social responsibility. So some of them work in the corporate sector as well. So if you're someone who is willing to help and who wants to help people of the society in getting all the basic amenities and basic facilities like education and various other things, then social work is also an option for you. And apart from social work, there is also one more field that you can look into, that is foreign languages. Foreign languages is also a very popular and growing field. So apart from English, if you're someone who likes to learn different languages like Spanish, Korean, French, German, and various different languages, then foreign languages is also one of the options that you can choose. And foreign languages is also one of the career option for most of you. So people who finish their studies in foreign languages work for I'm so sorry, I lost the connection in between. So some of the different languages people try to study are Spanish, Korean, Chinese, French, German. And once they've studied these foreign languages, they work as translators for different corporate companies. So what they do is, if a particular corporate company or if a particular company is associated with various different countries, they also, if somebody in the company does not know a particular language, so they try to translate this language for them. So foreign languages also is a very growing career. So if you are someone who likes to take up foreign languages, then you can do your BA honors in foreign language. That is also available in most of the colleges. And after your graduation, you can also do your masters in language, whichever language interests you. It could be Spanish, it could be Chinese, it could be French, whichever language interests you. And you could also do a postgraduate diploma in foreign language, and you could also do a certification course or diploma course in foreign language. So after that, some of them get the opportunity to be a writer. They teach at various institutes, and they also work. So they also work as lexicographers. So what lexicographers do is they compile materials for dictionary, whatever dictionaries that you use. All the lexicographers compile all of this, and they work as translators. So these are some of the opportunities if you try to study foreign languages. And if you become a language expert, you can again work with various world organizations, again like UN, WHO, and all of that. And also in publishing houses. In publishing houses who publish various magazines and newspapers, newsletters, you can also work with them. So that's about foreign language. The last one that I would like to talk about is sociology. The major difference between social work and sociology is while people who do social work try to help for the betterment of society, what sociologists do is they study about a particular society. Um, they study about how people live in different groups, and people of different races, different religion, different genders live in a society. So they study about all of these different topics. They also study about poverty, population growth, they study about war, they study about how many migrants are there. So they study about what happens in the society. They are not involved in any kind of social work. So that way sociology and social work are two different streams. And if you are someone who likes to do sociology after your class 12, then you could do BA in sociology, that's available, and then you can do your master's in sociology as well. So some of the career opportunities in sociology are also you can work with different government setups. Mostly opportunities come in the government sector as well as the private sector. You can work as policy analyst and researcher. These are some of the options that you have if you take up sociology. Now, coming to some of the other opportunities in the arts and humanities stream are photography. I've already mentioned when we spoke about mass communication and journalism. Event management, people who like to organize events, it could be any wedding event, any corporate event. Then you can also look at the field of event management. Writing is also another opportunity for people in arts and humanities stream. So apart from this, to talk about the top 3 trending careers in arts and humanities, the top 3 trending careers are designing, because there are plenty of opportunities in the field of designing, from fashion designing to interior designing to footwear, accessories, product design, graphic design. There is a lot of opportunities and it is trending these days. One more trending career is hotel management also. And the next trending career in humanities or art stream is journalism. And we all know that all the media houses, social media platforms are very famous these days. So journalism is also one of the option that we can look at. So these are the top 3 trending careers, that's designing, journalism, and hotel management. And there are plenty of opportunities available in these fields. So this is about the careers in arts and humanities. So if you have any more information about various different careers in arts, science, or commerce stream, you can always visit us. We have an Instagram page, Facebook page. You can subscribe to our channels and get informations about various different career options. And we have come up with a new initiative on YouTube as well called as Marg Career Shorts, wherein we will be covering about a particular career, and we will give students a comprehensive and a brief idea of what that career has to offer and what are the opportunities in that particular career. So you can follow us on our social media platforms also to gain more information about various different careers.